Hey, good morning, everybody. Morgan SLV here. Hey, I hope everybody's day is going well. Today's date, 9/30/2010. Gold today, 1302. Silver, 2168. So before I get started with what I want to talk about today, I'm going to be all over the board. It's weird, as I think about this stuff, lots of thoughts come flooding in. I get lots of questions every day. People ask me about my metals every day. People ask me about my channel every day. Because they're interested, right? So bottom line is, I just want to throw a warning out there. I had a friend hit for silver. And, I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of what happened, but we're talking probably $500,000 worth of stuff. And I don't know that I'll even be able to bring any more information forward about this because there's some legal wrangling going on. But the bottom line is that I'm noticing something in the air. I'm noticing, as we are ending, phase one and into phase two here. I think, on our way into phase two on this bull market for silver, people are getting a little antsy. My father and I, we invest together, and he's been getting a little antsy, and I've had to, I had to calm him down a little bit. Like, look, man, I have a plan for our metals, and I'm going to stick to our plan. I remember as a kid, I used to burn newspapers with a magnifying glass. The only way you can do that is you got to hold the magnifying glass still and focus. You got to focus the sunlight on one spot, and then it starts to burn, right? Well, I believe that you need to do the same thing with just about everything else in life. And the bottom line is this: I understand that if conditions warrant you to change your plan, then I would say do so, because I'm going to do that. The other thing is, I was listening to Stella Concepts today, and he's got a lot of good points, as in, they were asking him when he plans to get out of the game, right? And he plans, I think, unless I misunderstood him, he's doing the same thing I'm doing. He wants to get cash flowing real estate. He wants to leave one real asset and go into another one. And he says, at this time, I wouldn't be buying any, but in the future, as precious metals go up, and, real estate continues to decline, that's probably what he's going to do. And but once again, you have to watch the game, right? You have to be tuned in. You have to be tuned in. That's why I always say study a lot, man. So I know for real, I know for a fact that you're not going to catch me not studying. Enough said on that. What I thought was wealth, when I graduated high school, my very first job was about $78,000 a year. I was in the Pile Drivers Union out of Oakland, California. I'd make $400 a day under the table on the weekends. This is back in 1981. So figure that out, right? Cost of living and all that, and what it would be in today's dollars. But one of the things that I thought was wealth, or a lot of the things that I thought was wealth back then, I realize are not. I'm a firm believer in you don't have things, things have you, first of all. Now, don't get me wrong, I like nice things, and I have a few. But you just, it doesn't necessarily, they say money doesn't bring happiness. Well, I'm in kind of an agreement with that, but I'd rather cry in a limo than on a bus, right? Enough said on that. But what I'm thinking is this, is that, I live in an area where, there's a lot of poor. There's a lot of middle class, and then there's within about 5 miles of my house here, there's where all the movie stars live and whatnot. And here, let me give you an example. What I thought was wealth. So I pull up to this guy's house. I'm in my taxi, right? When I used to have my taxi company. The guy writes me a check, which I never take checks. Back then I never did. It just was not good business, right? But the guy's house was like 6,000 square feet. Okay, his gardener probably made what I made, right? So he writes me a check for 35 bucks. He bounces it. What? Here I am, a taxi driver. I haven't bounced a check ever, and he bounces a $35 check to me. So once again, what I used to think was wealth was a mere, mirage, right? The people that are wealthy, it may live in those types of homes, and obviously a lot of them do. But the bottom line is, the boats and the flashy cars and the clothes, and I thought that was wealth. Well, it really isn't. What you and I are doing right now, stacking silver, stacking gold, that's wealth. It just is. The Matrix. You know, I have mentioned the fact that I feel like, you know, we are in a matrix. Bottom line is this: if you've ever seen the movie The Matrix, which is one of my favorites, the original movie, you know, they, you know, one of my common comments is the reason everything tastes like chicken is because they couldn't figure out what things taste like, so everything tastes like chicken. In the Matrix, in the movie The Matrix, when they're talking about food. And the bottom line is this: if you remember in the Matrix, all they cared about is to keep you alive for the voltage that your body gave off. Well, I feel like our government is just keeping us alive for our future earnings, for our future tax dollars. And there goes my phone, but I'm not going to answer it. So, and then the Matrix is all around you. So anyway, I took a kid over, bought him some precious metal, right, with him, introduced him to my guys. And the bottom line is this: he had some neat remarks. Here he is, a young guy. We're on the freeway, and he's looking around at all the cars around us, and he says, you know, I bet none of these people know what's getting ready to happen. I said, you're right. You know, the Matrix, I call it, is so large and so it's so impermeated, and you were so taught from the time you were a kid. You just think it's, you get up, go to work, give them all your money through taxes and inflation, and die, right? I mean, I don't know. The awakening it's incredible. Metals leasing, another thing. Remember I was talking about the spring, the Cadillac spring that I threw off the roof of my house, and it bounced 3 times as high? Well, they got all these metals that they've leased, gold and silver. Hey, guess what? There's going to be an accounting. You need to be on the right side of it. Get your precious metals going. Get them now. Signs to get out of silver. Well, let's put it to you this way. The price adjusted high for silver in today's dollars would be about $125 based on its 1980 price. So we haven't even hit the adjusted high for silver yet, right? That'll be the signal, the ending of the second phase of this bull market. The third phase will be like the mania phase, right? If you ever want to read up on a neat mania, I think it was, go to Google like tulip mania, and I think it was in the 1800s, like 1803 or something. It was a ways back. And what happened with tulips, and how there was a mania with those, and a lot of people went broke, and a lot of people made a lot of money. The bottom line is this: all I can say is study up. Recapping what I've went over today, things that I thought were wealth in the past weren't. They were signals of maybe an affluent society buying things they can't afford with the money they borrowed from China, right? But the bottom line is, I am glad that, you know, we have a brotherhood here, right? And we all share together, and I appreciate everyone's time. I appreciate everyone's comments. I'm trying to get to all your comments and questions, and I hope I'm doing a better job. I promise to do better in the future. Anyway, guys, just wanted to say hi today. You know, nothing, nothing too pressing, but a buddy of mine did get hit for a lot. Just be careful. Morgan SLV out.